Hi, my name is DC Surface, and I want to welcome you to Airplane Partnerships Group. It's been a bit since I've posted a video here, but we were actually down in Florida at Sun and Fun and got back and just trying to catch up on some projects and a few other things around here. But just not getting back around to posting some videos, and we hope to be very consistent with that moving in the future. But before I get started here today, I just wanted to take a minute. Most of you have probably heard by now that we lost a great person, a great pilot in the aviation community, and certainly a legendary aerobatic performer. On April 24th, Rob Holland passed, and we just certainly want to send our sincere condolences to his family and friends. Rob will surely be missed in the aviation community here. So with that, I want to move into talking about real quick. We had our new book come out, the Airplane Partnership Flight Guide. So if you haven't gotten your copy of that yet, please go to airplanepartnershipsgroup.com and you can see, I'll get all the information on the book there if you want. It's a 60-page plus book, talks about how to get into affordable airplane ownership. And I think it's certainly worth your while there. So please go there and help support us a little bit. Click on that buy button and get your copy of the Airplane Partnership Flight Guide. I also want to talk a minute about the Airplane Partnership group on Facebook. When I was down in Florida, I actually did some forums, and I posted a video here. So you can watch that, go back and watch that. Apologize for some of the Q&A and stuff on it. We just really didn't pick that up on there, but it's still a good video to watch. It was one of the forums that I put on, and one of the things I asked the group was about how many of you knew about the Airplane Partnerships group on Facebook, and not one person that came through any of the forums. I did 3 of them, and not one person knew about the Facebook group. So if you would, and if you're serious about getting into a partnership or just looking around, I encourage you to go to Facebook and search for Airplane Partnerships Group and find us and join the group there if you will. We've got over 47,000 members in it now, and it's growing, and it's a great way. It's a great way for you to look and see what kind of questions are being asked and the answers that are given, the comments that are given. And certainly if you have something you would like to throw out to the group, you're more than welcome to do that. But it's also reached a point where you probably pretty much can find a partnership in your area, whether somebody's selling a membership or somebody is just trying to put 3 or 4 guys together and go in and purchase an airplane. So if you're not familiar with that, go to Airplane Partnerships Group on Facebook and sign up for that. Also, we're going to be talking about tonight, we're going to be talking about kind of the finances and the expenses of an airplane. We've talked about this a little bit in the past, but what I want to really hit on today is really just how important it is when you get your membership together and you put your contract together, that you really have some teeth in that contract built around the finances of it, like how the expenses are going to work, what's going to happen if somebody doesn't pay. And you need to have this very well thought out. You need to have a written operating agreement, if you will, and have it in there. And as a matter of fact, I've got my actual contract that I used on 2 of the partnerships that I had, the last 2. One was on a Cherokee 180. The same 2 other partners were in on that airplane with me. And then the last airplane that we owned together was a Cessna 206. And this is the actual agreement we used. So I'm going to kind of read a little bit here for you, but I think it's just very important because I talk to a lot of people, especially at Sun and Fun, and it's kind of amazing at how this is kind of all over the place. And I am not saying by any means that this is the absolute way that you should do this. It's just an idea. But I also want to say that just because I'm reading this to you and it's my contract doesn't mean it works for you. It worked very well for us. But please, by all means, go and get your attorney and make sure that they look at everything and make sure that they bust everything according to what your needs are. And as a matter of fact, if you want, if you will send us an email and request a copy, I'm going to send this redacted copy, if you will, out to you as a sample contract to use. So if you would, just go to airplanepartnershipsgroup@gmail.com and simply just ask for a copy of the contract, and I'll be more than glad to send that out to you. So with that said, I'm just going to read a little bit here because this is one of the most important things. It talks about expenses, fees, and assessments. And this is going to take a minute, but I think it's going to be worth your while. Uh, First of all, each member shall make an initial expense contribution of X, whatever that is, which shall be deposited into the bank of account of the company and shall be separately accounted for as an expense account. Uh, B, the expenses of the company shall include but shall not be limited to the hangar lease, insurance, any inspections required by the FARs, routine maintenance and repairs, annual registration fees for the company, and any other reasonable and necessary expenses associated with the operation of the company, such as taxes and things like that, CPA expense, attorney's fees, things like that. C, each member shall be equally responsible for the company's expenses. Each member's prorated share of the expenses incurred in any given month shall be paid by the 10th of the following month without exception. That's the key words there, without exception. D, each member will be allowed 100 hours of flying time per year, which is more than generous, without any assessments. Any member with hours in excess of the 100 hours will be assessed at the rate of, for us at that time, was $25 per hour, which is still a bargain. That's going to be inflated today. That may be 75 bucks or 100 bucks, depending on what airplane you have. So you just got to figure that out, which shall be due by the 10th day of the month following such assessment. Such assessments shall be deposited into the company bank account and shall be separately accounted for as an assessment account. All funds from such an account shall be used for such future maintenance, overhauls, or upgrades as agreed by all members. E. Any member, and this is one of the most important things, this is where this gets a little bit of teeth in it, if you will. Any member who becomes delinquent in excess of 60 days on the payment of expenses, assessments, or any other indebtedness to the company shall be grounded and shall not be allowed the use of the company aircraft until such delinquency has been settled. Such members' voting or consent rights under this agreement shall also be suspended until such time as the delinquency has been settled. Now, F, here's some real teeth. Any member who fails to pay his share of expenses, fees, assessments, or other amounts due to the company for a period of 90 days shall be subject to forfeiture of his membership in the company. The members in good standing shall have the automatic right to purchase the delinquent member's interest for an amount calculated as follows. And for us, this is what we had. It was 90% of the current market value of such member's interest, less all amounts owed to the company by the delinquent member, and less the amount of the anticipated cost of any major maintenance expenses that may be required within the next 50 flight hours. And we use the current market value of any aircraft owned by the company shall be determined by VRAF. So that's where this thing gets some real teeth in it, meaning that, you know, if you've got $25, $35, $50,000 or more, whatever the case may be, into this airplane partnership, and you feel like you're not going to pay your fair share along the way for expenses. And by the way, we split expenses 3 ways no matter what happened to the airplane, unless it was absolutely your fault. If it was negligence on your part, then it was on you to pay any deductibles and any expenses associated with that incident. and we did have an agreement with each other that we would not require loss of use payment or anything like that at that time. But that may be something that you consider, because any kind of incident with an airplane today is pretty much going to take it out of service for maybe 6 months to a year, and that's really not fair for the other members to lose the use of that airplane for that particular time. So again, it just depends on what your needs are and how you want to do this. But my point here is to make sure that you have some kind of teeth in this, because I've heard a lot of stories out there about a lot of partnerships that had issues with this. And first of all, you want to make sure that everybody has the resources and stuff when they're getting into this to pay the expenses on it. But you want to have this written in case something goes wrong. That's a real incentive for me to make sure that I'm paying my fair share, is the fact that I could actually lose my share in that airplane. That is not something that I would want to have happen to me, but I get it. Life happens. A lot of things happen to people. I mean, it just goes all over the board, and you want to be able to make sure that you're covered, and that if you're a member in good standing, you want to make sure that you're covered with everybody else who is perhaps not paying their fair share on the expenses and stuff. So again, if you will send me an email if you would like a copy of this, it's my entire contract. I don't mind sending it to you. I do have a disclaimer that there in no way should you just take this and use this verbatim. You should adapt it to your needs, and make sure it might be a good thing to send to your attorney, so your attorney can edit it and do whatever they want to with it, and make it your own. But this worked very well with us through 2 airplanes, and I can say that you definitely want to have an agreement like this in place. So with that said, may you have blue skies and smooth winds, and may your altitude be as high as your spears, and may your landings be as smooth as your takeoff. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.